Now in this lecture, let us use all the sequences and iterate over them. So the first one is list, which we have already performed. So if I'm using for I in A, that means I'm iterating for all the elements inside my list. And at this point of time, I'm having 6 elements in my list. That means I'm going for 6 iteration. That will be 6 loops. Same will be followed my tuple. So if I take B here and try to run this program, you can see I got the same result. And let me clear this out and try to take C, that means my set. And if I print this, you can see I still got the same result. Let me clear this out and try to take string, that is D. And let me run this one. Now you can see it has iterated to all the elements, all the item inside my string, that is all the characters, and then printed them separately according to our command. So let me clear this out and now talk about the most important thing, that is dictionary. So if I take E and try to run the same command, you can see I got name and age. So whenever I try to print or iterate over my dictionary, it will only iterate through my key values. That means I just got my name and age. These two were my key values. And if I want to iterate for any specific term, like I just want to iterate to values, so I can use dot and then values. If I clear this one and try to run this again, you can see I got only values, that is Shubham and 22. And if I want only keys, that is by default, and I can also use keys. If I run this one again, you can see I just got name and age. And if I want both items, that means I can use items. But there is a problem. When I'm using items, that means it will get key and value both. So I need to use two variables. One will store my keys and the other one will store my values. So I will be using X and Y. You can use key and value as variable. You can use any name. So now what I'm doing is X and Y. So X will take my key, that is name, and Y will take my value, that is Shubham. Let me format dictionary in a manner that you will understand easily. So dictionary is usually shaped like this, so it is more comfortable to read. And if you are from JavaScript, you will be familiar with this scheme. Now what I was doing is I was iterating from key and value. So now I need to print key, that is my X, and maybe then leave a space so I can use and then print my value. That is done. Let me clear this up and run my script. So I got a common error that I cannot use this concatenation, that is my plus symbol, because in my value pair I am having a int, that is 22. So I will be using a comma, but it was intentional to make you understand that. So in my first loop there was no error, so it printed name and Shubham, that is my key and value. And in my second loop, that is in my second iteration, I got this error. So let me clear this up, add comma instead of plus symbol, and run the script again. You can see I got my key and value, then again key and value. So it was quite easy and understandable. The next thing we need to understand is range, which is one of the most important thing. Let me clear this up and write from scratch. So for X in, now I need to use range. So we already know that range can store number from one point to another point, and it will start according to our requirement. That is, if I want to start with 1, I can do that, and it will end according to our requirement, and we can also define the gaps. So what I need to use is range, and then I need to pass from where I need to start till what point I need to go for iteration, and then I need to mention the gap, which is by default is 1. And you do something simple, just print that. So if I do that, you can see I got a result from 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means it started from 1 and then printed till 4. Range is really important. I can also try till 10 maybe, and then can use a gap of 2. And if I run this again, you can see I got all the odd numbers. We can play a lot with range, and we will be doing that for sure while doing some exercise. So my major aim with this lecture was to make you understand about the concept of for loop. Now what we can do is we can also use a else for this loop. So if I use else, and add a print statement about loop completed. And if I run this one, you can see I got a result from 1 to 9, and once that iteration is done, I was get inside my else loop and then loop completed is printed. So that was quite easy stuff, and I hope you understand about for loop. In the next lecture, let us talk about some important keywords about how to stop these loops. Like once a for loop is started, there should be some condition where our program might be satisfied and we don't need to perform further. Or maybe our while loop should stop after a certain condition. Or we might need to add some quality test. So at that point of time, we can use 2 or 3 keywords which are really important. One is break, one is continue. In the next lecture, we'll be talking about them.